Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
Welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found, and of course, taped live at the twitch.tv/Steve and Larson, and at the YouTube. So if you're available Mondays, Tuesdays, Fridays at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, of course, on Wednesdays, post-Dynamite, be sure to hang out with us on the Twitch or on the YouTube. We're on the both. They haven't told us to stop Larson. Knock on some sort of wooden object. I think this is wood over here. There you go. So, yeah, good stuff. Today's episode of Going In Raw, we're going to be talking about Monday Night Raw, first of the new year. And we had a couple of title matches. We had some story developments, potentially a new faction. I'm sorry, an old faction reuniting.
Oh, super exciting.
Very excited about that. But first, we're going to talk a little bit about, of course, tonight, the big Wrestle Kingdom. It's New Japan Professional Wrestling's biggest event of the year. Of course,
WrestleMania.
It's their WrestleMania. It's only one night this year, right? And one night?
Yeah, it's only one night.
Only doing the one night.
They're doing, excuse me, there's like a similar, I guess, to WrestleMania Backlash. They're doing a Wrestle Kingdom themed show on the 21st.
Okay. So they've
but
got,
not in the Dome, though.
Okay. And then, of course, tomorrow night would be New Year's Dash, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it works. That's where, like, it's like their Raw after Mania.
Yeah.
Theoretically.
A few years ago, after Okada beat Omega the first time, they wrestled at the main event. The next night, Suzuki-gun returned to New Japan.
Mm-hmm. A couple of people here in the YouTube chat. You know what's funny is, like, that's the one big thing that we can point out for New Year's Dash, because otherwise, like, nothing ever happens. Well, no,
there was that one year where Kenny invited Jay White to join Bullet Club, and he said no and joined Chaos instead. I believe that happened at New Year's Dash.
Yeah. I feel like they've all been underwhelming after. It's like, oh, wow. So remember, we were like, Suzuki-gun, that sounds cool. What is that?
I know. You're like, you're like Suzuki, like he's 50 years old. And you see what he does, like, oh my gosh, this guy's amazing.
Oh, wow. He's great. That's cool. Wait, Shelton Benjamin. That's cool. So anyways, yeah, New Year's Dash. So I don't know, man. Look, I'm not, this is why I'm not like, hey, I'm not pushing you to do it, because I don't even know if I'm going to do it. I might live stream some Wrestle Kingdom watch along tonight over at twitch.tv/MF Steve here. I need to give him a kick in the pants to the channel. And if I get a nap in today, we should watch it. Like, if we don't really watch many other New Japan shows.
Watch it tomorrow. Yeah, for sure.
So I figure, why not just go ahead and get it out of the way? Maybe I'll do that. We'll see.
So it starts at 10. You said 10:20. The pre-show starts.
The pre-show, I think, according to the website I saw, said 10:20. Yeah.
All right. So if it's 40 minutes for pre-show, 2 matches, and then the main card starts at 11, it should be over by 3.
I would think that's what I was thinking too. I was thinking 3 o'clock. Yeah. People noticing my new setup here. Yeah, I changed my desk was there. Now it's here.
Yeah.
So but I put this thing a little here so I have my little mementos so everybody can see my mementos.
It is in a lot of way a mirror image of what I got going on.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
I got my little desk here.
Yeah. I want some mementos here. Otherwise, just an abyss back there. It's the location where Enforcer almost broke his ankle walking in my office.
That's just off to your left there.
So yeah, welcome YouTube chat. Apologies for Triple H for bumping him from the show yesterday. We had internet issues. I'm now plugged in via Ethernet cable, and so we're going to bring him back today at the end of the show today. All right. So that maybe you can explain to him, hey, this is why you got bumped yesterday.
I'll try my best.
I don't think he's going to be in a very good mood.
Yeah, it's entirely possible he's not in a great mood.
All right, wrestling fan here says pre-show at 1:20, main show starts at 3 a.m. Eastern, so that's midnight. Ooh, boy.
So 4 in the morning.
4 o'clock, yeah.
4 in the morning.
Well, we'll see how that works out for old Steve. Anyway, speaking of Wrestle Kingdom, yesterday PW Insider reported that Naomi would be joining Sasha Banks in Japan this week. A report seemingly confirmed by Naomi herself on Instagram, posting an Instagram story from Tokyo. Today, PW Insider is reporting that longtime friend and top on-screen partner and nemesis Bayley will be in Tokyo this Wednesday.
It should say the PW Insider reporting that Sasha's, and then the quote.
Oh, Sasha's longtime friend.
That's my
I think people sort of understood.
That's
what
my
we
bet.
meant. Obviously, Bayley's under. You don't have to fix it now, man. I've already
No, I
said
have to
it.
fix
You
it
don't
now.
need to fix it now.
I have to fix it. It's fixed.
Oh, man. Obviously, Bayley's under contract to WWE and likely shouldn't be expected to be seen on camera, but we are told she will be there. And asking around, we could not confirm that WWE sent Bayley to the show, but it's entirely possible and probably likely she headed to Japan herself to be there for Sasha Banks, Mercedes Varnado, given their long-standing friendship. So obviously it's highly doubtful that Bayley is going to actually show up on camera. But these days, Larson, these days, anything's possible. Already one contracted WWE wrestler, Carl Anderson, Machine Gun, is going to be wrestling, most likely losing his never openweight title to Tama Tonga.
Yeah.
If WWE really wanted to create a ton of buzz, they already have seemingly kind of a friendly relationship with New Japan.
Cordial
Bayley come out
relationship.
there for a little support. Just show her face on camera.
Oh, I'd be shocked. Shocked, I tell you.
You'd be shocked?
Absolutely shocked. Yes,
would you
I
be shocked? Or would you be like, I'm not
floored.
shocked but surprised?
I'd be floored. Because here's the thing with Carl Anderson. He agreed to those dates before signing with WWE, and it was one of those things that just was worked out. I'm sure Carl Anderson was like, hey, I'll sign with you, WWE, but, hey, be cool. I've already agreed to these dates with New Japan. Rocky Romero's my good buddy. We do Talk and Shop and Mania together, in case you don't know. Can I still fulfill my obligations to New Japan? And then after those, full-time, all WWE all the way. But just because that's worked out doesn't mean we're going to have, Roman Reigns showing up at the end of Wrestle Kingdom to confront Okada after he beats Jay White for the title.
That's a long way removed from Bayley just making an appearance. That would shock me. That I would be shocked at. This wouldn't be shocking. It'd be surprising. Wouldn't be shocking.
Oh, it'd be shocking.
Nothing's shocking anymore.
Oh, it'd be shocking, all right.
What's shocking is Ace Steel biting a guy. That's shocking. CM Punk calling Hangman Page an empty-headed. That was shocking. It's like, oh my God, what's happening right now? But Bayley just showing up, that's not shocking. It's surprising. Nah, not really.
That's pretty shocking.
Nah, not really. Anyways, let's talk about Monday Night Raw. So, a couple things happened on the New Year edition of Monday
New Year's
Night
Smash
Raw.
edition of Raw, yes.
The New Year's Dash edition of Monday Night Raw. So, according to your notes here, look, I don't know why your top note for Raw highlights isn't Dom's prison promo.
Okay, I mean, this is just stream of consciousness.
Of
This is the stream of consciousness for Raw highlights.
I'm actually kind of.
To me.
I'm shocked you didn't put this at number one.
All right, fine. Put it.
I'm going to fix that. I fixed it here. Can we talk about this Dominic Mysterio prison promo?
Yeah.
He's out of prison. He has a teardrop tattoo, Larson.
Yeah, I know. It was pretty spectacular. I mean, hats off to Dom for being all in on this performance and not letting any aspect of the ridiculousness of this whole thing kind of seep through. You know, it was heartfelt and it was earnest. Because of that, it was damn funny.
Yeah.
If he'd been like, hey, I'm in on the joke,
yeah,
it would have lost some of the humor. But the fact that he wasn't he didn't show that he was in on the joke of it, made it all that much better. It was fantastic. You
have to be all in on it for the absurdity to be the most effective.
Yes.
You have to go all in on it. The fact that he had a teardrop tattoo, he had a toothpick. He was referring to jail as prison, which for those of you who don't know, there is a distinction. Prison is what's considered hard time, bid, and that's when you're incarcerated for a year or more.
Yes.
Beyond that, it's a year, or before that, it's jail.
And they're different facilities too.
And they're different facilities, yeah.
Yes.
And once you're sentenced, you go to prison. This was awesome, and I love. It's funny because there's no other. Sadly, there was no other Judgment Day on the show, but this was enough, and this was absolutely amazing. Chris Garrick's here, our transcriber here, got a bunch of the promo. He says, "Sadness isn't a bad thing to feel. It isn't hard to feel, but the absence of feeling is what prison is like. You think I'm playing a game? I served hard time and I survived. Prison changes a man and you think it's over, but I'm just getting started. Mommy, I'll see you soon. And then he says a bunch of stuff in Espanol, which I didn't catch. But, dude, you could see his character grow before your eyes.
Yeah. Yeah.
This because now what's going to... So before, he was just sort of on, Mommy's, right hand or whatever, and she'd whisper things to him. What change do you want to see once we see Dom again on the live program?
So, there's been you mentioned Rhea whispering in Dom's ear, and we don't know the exact nature of the things she's whispering, but it'd be interesting if there was a bit more give and take in that. Where, yeah, she'd still whisper things in Dom's ear, but maybe it'd be times where Dom's like, and then whisper something in her ear. I think that would be part of it. And also kind of his thing now since he turned heel, he's got the Scrappy Doo thing. Well, he'll talk a lot of trash, and then he'll hide behind Damian Priest, for example. And that's great. I've loved all that. But maybe instead of always standing behind somebody so they can, actually take care of the physical altercation part of things, he actually steps up more and is actually like, yeah, I can handle my business now. You
know how this would play out amazingly? Kind of what you're saying. But Dom becomes the true X factor. He becomes the unpredictable wild card. Exactly. The guy who might cut you. I think this is actually really, really well done stuff. It's obvious that everybody's having a lot of fun with it. Being this over the top, it's really great stuff. And I appreciate that there's a lot of thought and effort. I mean, honestly, man, if Vince was still in charge, I wouldn't be shocked if Rey Mysterio was still riding Dom's shoulders to the ring. Yeah, because he was just hemming and hawing on that, and now they're just full bore ahead. Who is it? Says us here in chat. Chill Gaming says, do you think they're grooming Dom to become kind of like an Eddie Guerrero? I mean, I think they're just sort of giving him a lot of things to work with as a character so that he can develop to the point where he is a character, not like Eddie, but a character that has as much depth and complexity as Eddie, because that's what you want from everybody. And honestly, layers, it's kind of something that Rey Mysterio himself has lacked over the years, I
mean, the one time he had it, I thought, from a character standpoint, was really good was the feud with Brock. Yeah. That was great stuff. That was really good stuff. Probably Ray's best work, definitely since he made his return.
Since Ray has come back, and you see this happen often with wrestlers who just get older. They just incorporate more of their own life experiences into the stuff that you see on camera, and sometimes it's not even like very specific, tangible stuff that you can be like, oh, it's this, this, and this. It's just he's older, so there's more gravitas to his voice. There's more assuredness to his promos. And that's what they're getting Dom on the road for, because we could see, you mentioned it yesterday, the Randy Orton promos from 20 years ago were god awful. Yeah. But you go through a bunch of character moments and just time.
And reps. Reps is important. You got to go out there and do it until you feel comfortable. Until you've been in situations where before you might panic. Having gone through that situation, I know what to do now. Yeah. You get the reps in. You go, you study your tape of what you did. You get some pointers from people who have been there and done it. So moments where you might panic, you don't. And eventually, eventually through enough reps, enough practice, and as you mentioned, experience, you get it done.
Yeah. No, that's it's all really, really good stuff. Also on to, last night's Monday Night Raw, we had a bunch of other stuff that's not quite as consequential as Dom's prison promo. But
I don't know. Your favorite wrestler is primed for a return, Steve. Cody.
Cody's my number 2 now. Dom is number 1, Larson.
All right, sorry. Well, your second favorite wrestler, Cody. They're getting the WWE marketing machine behind his return. Yeah. There was the first of what I'm assuming will be many video packages telling the story of Cody's return to WWE, his injury, his rehabilitation, and his return from injury. That's all setting up for him to either win the Rumble or set up some huge match at WrestleMania. And then after that, it's all for him to win the title at some point this year. It's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to. Something tells me, let me ask them, do you suspect that they're going to try to do the title split at the Rumble? It's going to be some sort of big deal.
Possible. I guess it depends if The Rock's going to be there for Mania or not. If The Rock's going to be there for Mania, then I think it's more likely. If he says before the Rumble it's a hard no for me at Mania. Have Cody beat Roman for both those belts, and then worry about it afterwards. Have a draft after WrestleMania, and then break them up that way.
I don't know if they have a show, but I know they always do the December 26th show or whatever it is at Madison Square Garden. They just did that. And I don't know if they could book something from, but it would be so great if it was at MSG.
I know.
It'd be so awesome. And honestly, I still go back to my original assertion that, you know, I think it just should be, hey, we've got two brands, got maybe like a draft on the way. We're splitting the titles. Roman, you've proven it. You've done what you can. And you're going to keep the one that you've got the longest, reign on, the Universal title, and see if you can, if you want to continue to hold that and in character, all this stuff. Yeah. If you want to continue to defend that and try to go after, God forbid, Bruno's reign, then go ahead and do it. But the WWE title's coming back to Raw by order of Triple H. If you get Triple H out there to do it, I think that you can make a big enough deal about it that it's not like, oh, Roman's losing. I hate the idea of him losing the title without losing the title. In a match, somebody else coming in and swooping it from him, and he's not involved in it. I hate that. So, like, the only alternative, I think, is you make it a paperwork thing, administrative thing, which sounds boring, but it's WWE. You can write it so that it's dramatic.
They did it before. Bischoff literally handed Triple H the World Heavyweight title. I guess there would be a certain amount of symmetry to Triple H doing the same to somebody else, like potentially Cody, or at least saying, we have this title here, you two have a match, winner gets the title,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be, I guess either's a possibility, especially, definitely more likely, I think, if The Rock's going to be at Mania.
Hey, this is kind of interesting. I'm just trying to do something. Says, could Roman be threatened to have his WWE championship stripped because the bloodline is terrorizing Raw?
That's a possibility. That's a possibility.
That's a possibility. And maybe that's what they're doing here. It's like these guys are just destroying Raw every week. Pierce is at his wit's end, and he makes an appeal to Triple H, and they're like, hey, you keep this up, you guys are going to be banned from here, and because you're banned from here, the title's coming back home. I don't know how much I like that, but if they wrote it so that it's cool enough, I'd like it.
Yeah.
You can write anything to be cool.
What they need to do is have like Cedric, Shelton, Dolph, Ali, Street Profits, Owens show up on SmackDown with Drew and Sheamus and take the bloodline on SmackDown. That's what they need to do. That'd be great.
That would be cool. That'd be cool. But then you start doing like a brand versus brand thing away from Survivor Series. That'd be kind of cool. Just do stuff because it makes sense story wise. You don't have to wait for pay-per-views to do stuff.
Nope. Yeah. Let's talk about this. I don't know if Seth Rollins is injured or not. If he's just a really good seller, but Austin Theory and Seth Rollins had a match for the U.S. title in the main event of Raw last night. After a low blow, Theory retains. However, during the match, Seth Rollins is really selling knee, and apparently after the match, needed some assistance to get backstage. Considering that the story of the match wasn't necessarily Austin Theory working knee, save for the finish where he hit a chop block, and Seth kind of started selling knee after I think the first commercial break. Given his history of knee injuries, not necessarily having an injured knee might necessarily make you more inclined to having further knee injuries. It's worrisome because he's one of the top guys on Raw, one of the top guys in the entire company, and especially when they're heading to WrestleMania season, you want your top guys to be healthy. So we haven't heard anything today about the status of his knee, whether he's injured or not. Hopefully he's not, but hopefully it's just some really good selling on Seth's part, even after the cameras stop the broadcast.
Yeah, I agree. There's no way to know until, we get some official word on that situation. If this is something that's actually serious and takes him out for an extended period of time, what a shame, because obviously he is, what a shame in the first place, because nobody wants anybody to get hurt.
Yes.
We saw what happened last night, obviously, in the NFL game, and it's horrifying.
Yeah.
But as far as Seth Rollins is concerned, he's on such a great role right now. He is doing really, really amazing work. But for the sake of, let's take that out of it. Obviously, Austin Theory was still supposed to win, was still supposed to retain last night.
Yeah.
In a phenomenal bout between himself and Seth Rollins.
And if Seth was hurt early in the match and continued on to put on that kind of performance, hats off to him, because that was a stellar match. It was great.
That would be such a Seth Rollins thing to do too, because that guy, he's an absolute champ. But Austin Theory got the job done, obviously cheating, low blow, et cetera, but it's not exactly falling on a guy to win a title, which is how he won that title at that last pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Was that at a pay-per-view? I just said it was at a pay-per-view. Was it at...
it was at Survivor Series.
It wasn't it? Okay, all right. Look at that. Thought it might have been a special Raw. He did actually get the job done. He beat Seth Rollins as clean as you'd want a heel to win. I'm cool with when heels do this stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Whatever it takes to win. I'm not a fan of the chicken shit stuff where they're like running away from a fight necessarily.
Where someone else does their fighting or cheating for them. Yes.
Yeah, right. And I do wish that they'd get a little bit more clever with MJF being so casual about it. But that being said, I really like MJF, so I'm willing to forgive that. And Austin Theory, I think, is making some progress. And I feel like that was the first big barrier to him being legitimate was a win over Seth Rollins that didn't involve, Bobby Lashley having to spear somebody and him falling on him and stuff like that. Where do you see Austin Theory going from here? Who do you think would be a next good big opponent for him after Seth Rollins now? Because we're heading into the Royal Rumble. I don't know if he's going to have a match there or if he's going to be in the Rumble. I suspect he'd have a match. But then the Rumble there's not a lot of time on the show.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, whoever he faces at the Rumble or if he's in the Rumble is one thing. I guess the real question is, Mania is the largest stage of them all. There was some talk and some speculation even on our part that he might be facing John Cena there. Latest rumors are that it might be Cena, Logan Paul. So I guess the question is there a feud at the Rumble that could potentially set up what he does next at Mania?
They could look. The Rumble is the kind of thing where, you can make a story in the Rumble. He might declare next week, and then during the Rumble, whether it's, I doubt it's going to be this person, but like Mustafa Ali has talked about wanting the U.S. title. He was barely on TV last night. Honestly, I think if Ciampa isn't going to be back anytime soon, you go with Gargano. That's a guy that's got a lot. He's racked up a decent amount of wins, if I'm not mistaken. He hasn't been booked terrible,
he hasn't
even
really
though
wrestled a whole lot. I think
he
hasn't
hasn't wrestled
a couple
a
matches.
lot.
He lost one of them.
In the beginning, when he first came back, he wrestled a little bit, but then they started getting him involved way too much in this Loomis Miz stuff. But if you want to get Gargano back on track, that's what you do. You have Gargano and Austin Theory because of all their history. And I think that'd be a terrific Mania match, and Gargano can lose that. I think Gargano could probably lose that.
Let's see. I feel like he's probably only had maybe 5 matches on Raw. So he's been tagging with Loomis at house shows.
Yeah.
So he lost to Amos, lost to The Miz, he lost to Corbin. Those are his last 3 televised matches.
Yeesh, he needs to
He's
pick
lost.
up some.
And then before that, he beat Austin Theory.
Okay.
Otis beat Gargano. And then, so let me see here. That's 1, 2. He won his first 2 matches. 5.
What is it, like 3 and 5 or something?
He's had 7 televised matches, and I think he's won 3 of them.
Okay,
3 and 4.
That's not great.
No,
his losses are usually fairly protected, though. It's usually because something.
They're
else
usually
is going on.
storyline motivated. There's some outside force or factor that leads to him losing. Yeah.
What about boy, this would be kind of interesting. I don't know if they'd want to go back to this because it's the other guy who's been heavily involved in the U.S. title scene, Bobby Lashley. Clearly last night. They're heading towards a Hurt Business reunion.
Oh, heck yes.
In the background, while Damage Control is walking backstage, you see in the background MVP, Cedric Shelton, and Adam Pearce all talking. So clearly they're doing a Hurt Business. Maybe this time bring in Amos into the fold. Wait a second. Did Amos and MVP have a falling out? I forget. Did that actually happen?
Not that I recall,
okay,
no.
That didn't happen. Okay. So yeah, the Hurt Business, maybe with Amos. That'd be a lot of fun. A lot of possibilities there.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great. You always got to assume, at least I do, that we're going to get a third Lashley Lesnar match too.
That's a possibility. Yeah, that's a possibility. So yeah, who knows what's going to happen with Austin Theory, but I like that they sort of have him on track. Is there anything missing with Austin Theory in terms of his character that you'd like to see? Because I feel like he does need, I'm not going to say he needs prison time necessarily, But I do feel like they need to mix it up a little bit with him, right?
Yeah. I mean, right now he feels like a lot like how Triple H was booking characters in NXT. Which, you're
talking about a very specific time when it was sort of like badass to be a badass.
Where everybody who was like 90% of the characters were badasses who love to fight. And that's kind of what Austin Theory is now. I mean, he's got a chip on his shoulder because everybody's calling him the future. They call him kid. And he's like, no, I'm a man. This is the now. I'm the now. And I get that. But layers. I need more, and when he kind of did this character pivot, I was wondering if we were going to get the Austin Theory who realized that simply being vicious wasn't enough, that he had to be smarter, he had to be tactical. And we did see a little bit of that last night, where he saw an opportunity, took advantage of it, and got the win rather than falling onto a cover.
Yeah.
I need more of that, though. I need to see that on a regular basis, where he's starting to put the pieces together and we see it play out from him being a guy with just a ton of potential to being a guy who could actually be not just the future of the company, but the president of the company.
I think one person that people constantly, compare Austin Theory to for obvious reasons is John Cena. He does bear like a bit of a resemblance to him, and you can just sort of see that, they could see that in him. But one guy I think they probably want to look at in terms of his past is Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Randy Orton developed his character by being the meanest son of a bitch, not just on camera, but evidently backstage as well. But, he was a legend killer. He just started like kicking legends in their heads, throwing them down,
Dude, I remember when he kicked Foley down the flight of stairs.
This flight of stairs is exactly what I was about to say. Maybe straight towards that direction. Just have him become like a real mean son of a bitch. And everybody keeps on calling him kid, and that's a trigger for him. And he throws you down a flight of steps or something, or they do the thing where you throw him out the window and then it cuts to outside and you see like a dummy, like a mannequin being thrown out.
Yeah, yeah.
And they do a Wilhelm scream,
or you get the Goofy. Ow! When he falls down something, Goofy always made that noise.
Right.
Ow! I don't do very many impressions, but I got the Goofy fall sound down pat.
Maybe one day we can zoom in Goofy. Goofy falling out of a window. Yeah, no, Wilhelm scream. And it's always the same like shot of a building and the same shot of somebody falling out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Before we get to the breakdown of the show, let's talk about this. We finally saw, I guess really, Alexa Bliss kind of snap last night.
Yeah, it seemingly it happened. The thing happened.
Yeah. So there was a few people in the crowd with Uncle Howdy masks on. Not the one with the mustache, the one apparently he wears over the one with the mustache.
Yeah, I want the one with the mustache.
Yeah, no. And preferably running ropes. That's what I want to see. In match, running ropes.
Yeah, right.
Kipping up, all that stuff.
Yeah, right.
Single leg
German suplex.
Yes, all that stuff. Kip up. Yeah.
Oh, by the way,
a destroyer. What?
By the way, during our SmackDown review, we were trying to figure out, who was under this latest Uncle Howdy Harper mask or whatever.
The one shot we had wasn't terribly conclusive, but we saw some more the following day. It's totally Bo Dallas.
Oh my God, it's 1,000,000% Bo Dallas. Like if I had seen this picture, I'd be like, it's clearly Bo Dallas.
Same.
Yeah, which is great. It's cool that he's back.
But get back to Alexa. Yeah, she was down on the floor, and there was some dude with Uncle Howdy mask on. She turns, sees it. She's like, oh gosh, it starts to affect her. And then she goes up top, sees someone else in the crowd with that mask. And then she more or less snaps. Mm-hmm. She attacks the ref. She attacks Bianca. She DDTs Bianca twice on the ring steps.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it's advancement. Where's it going to go? I don't know. Are we actually going to get bits with Bray and Alexa, or is this just going to be kind of the specter of Uncle Howdy kind of haunting her and motivating this character change?
I'll be honest, man. I love the idea that she'd be her own version of Bray Wyatt on Raw, and they don't even interact until like a pay-per-view where they do a very cool backstage thing where they run into each other, or they come together in some other way. I mean, look, if factions are the thing, How cool would it be if they built a faction outside of brands? Like, it's like Bray's here. You got Alexa over here. Maybe in NXT, you start moving Schism towards that. I don't know. I really don't know. But how, an unnatural way or an unorthodox way to build a faction, just separate brands because Uncle Howdy's sort of everywhere. I think it'd be really cool. I don't know if they're going to do it or not, but that'd be kind of cool. And then, as we've already talked about, got another tease for the Hurt Business backstage. I don't know when Lashley is supposed to be coming back. He hasn't been fired. We know that because that happened the next day. He was unfired. But I guess MVP is currently negotiating his return. Maybe he's just taking some time off and he'll come back at the Rumble, perhaps. I don't know. Oh, there's my cat. Where's she going to go? Big stretch.
Out.
His ear tail right there. What an idiot. Anyways, why don't you go ahead and start the recap and we'll let her out.
Will do. So we get our usual Raw video intro package and is interrupted by the Bloodline. They're out in the ringside area, destroying security, flipping over the announce table. They're there. They're taking over Raw. Sammy grabs the lens of the camera and says, "This is a message for everyone in the back. Bloodline runs the show." And then you hear da 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 da. It's Kevin Owens. That's his music. And he comes out to the stage. Bloodline gets in the ring. Owens has a mic. He's about to talk, but Sammy says, "Hey! I see you have a mic there, Kev. Don't open your mouth and don't say a word. In case you can't tell, we aren't in a good mood. Tonight is a hostile takeover of Monday Night Raw by the Bloodline." And Kevin Owens just says, "Oh, is that right?" Sammy continues, "We're taken over by any means necessary, and people are going to get hurt because of you." Owens says, "Because of me? I could swear I had something to say, but after hearing you now just say that, all I want to do is come down there and punch your face." So he throws the mic aside, goes down to the ring. And as he's making his way to the ring, Adam Pearce comes out. It's like, no, this isn't happening. No, the the Bloodline is not the authority of Raw. I've let this go on for far too long. We aren't doing this tonight or the new year. The four of you, the Bloodline, will leave the ring peacefully. Security escort them out of the building. And Solo single-handedly lays out all the security guards.
That was awesome. Yeah, everybody was just standing back watching him, and he's just taking everybody out.
Yeah, it was great. So Owens is staying next to Pearce on the ramp. And, security guards are getting wrecked left and right. Eventually, Owens runs into the ring to take the fight to the Bloodline. They beat him down. So Pearce is like, "Hey, more security, come out here." What we get is Shelton Benjamin, Cedric Alexander, Mustafa Ali, the Street Profits, Elias, and Gallows. They all run down to the ring.
Yeah.
To take on the Bloodline. They send them out. They clear the ring. So Pearce says, "You aren't getting out of Dodge that easy or at all. You want to come to work? I'm putting you all to work. All of you have a match tonight, and that is official."
Yeah.
The Bloodline, they're escaping through the crowd. They're not happy about it.
Yeah. It's going to be Friday's going to be interesting. Did they advertise Roman for Friday?
I don't know. Let me see if there's anything on .com yet.
I thought for sure they were going to lose that match last night because I thought this was going to get worse and worse for the Bloodline.
Yeah, I know.
So after that, we had a Bianca Belair interview. Byron asks her about the attack from 2 weeks ago, the Alexa Bliss stuff. She says, "With all due respect, Byron, I am no victim, and after tonight, I don't want to talk to or about Alexa after tonight." She says, "Our relationship is well beyond repair. She can blame Bray all she wants, but we all know she's her own person and she does what she wants. Alexa wanted this match tonight, so I guess I'll show her who the EST is." Backstage, all the guys that had come to clear the ring, all the guys from the locker room, they're all backstage yelling at Pearce. They're upset that the Bloodline is there. And Montez is like, "Look, if you're booking the Bloodline tonight, that better include us." And Owens is like, "Yeah, I want a match with them too." And then Elias is like, "I don't care about anybody but Solo. I just want him because he tried to end my career." He says, "I want to fight. I don't want a match. I want to fight." And Pearce is like, "Okay, fine. We happen to have a lot of instruments here tonight, so because we're in Nashville." And he says, "How? The Music City. That's right. That's why we have a lot of instruments here." He says, "Because in the Music City, that just happens." He says, "So about a Music City street fight?" And then he also makes Sammy and the Usos versus the Street Profits and Kevin Owens for later on. And he says, "As for the rest of you guys," and he says, "You want your hands on the Bloodline. I understand. They've been walking around showing their power for too long, but it's New Year. And we have to start acting like it."
It's a new year, a new Adam Pearce.
Right, yeah, exactly. It is official.
It is official. After that, we had the Raw Women's Championship bout, Bianca versus Alexa. We kind of went through some of the story beats before. At one point, Alexa gets busted open. Her nose starts bleeding. And then later on... so
there's
Bianca's,
quite a bit of blood by the end of this, too.
Yeah, both of them are bleeding by the end of all this. So towards the end, Bianca is looking for a KOD on Alexa. Bliss fights out. Bianca hits a backbreaker, hits a bunch of punches in the corner, but then Bliss kind of uses Bianca's ponytail to essentially yank her out of the ring. And she tumbles over the top rope to the floor. And so Alexa has her back to the crowd and turns around and sees a dude with a Uncle Howdy mask on.
Yeah.
And she starts to, snap a little bit, but tries to compose herself. And she puts Bianca back in the ring. She goes up top, sees someone else with a Howdy mask. And then she slowly comes down. The Bray logo flashes on the Tron. And then that's when she completely snaps.
And every time it flashes, it's like she gets hit with something.
Yeah.
The Howdy power.
Yes, there we go. So she attacks the ref, goes after Bianca, sends her into the ring post, then sends her in the ring steps, hits a DDT on the steel steps, and that's when Bianca's bleeding from her mouth. Alexa walks off, then comes back, hits another DDT, and then leaves through the crowd, and then they bring a stretcher out for Bianca. So I guess this match was officially no contest.
Yeah.
Although on commentary when they came back, I think Corey
said it was a DQ.
It was a DQ, yeah.
Yeah.
So we go to commercial, we come back, and they show a replay of a lot of that. And during that, they showed that Montez came to help Bianca to the back.
Yeah, and that's
which will come into play later.
Yeah, exactly. I like this here on our YouTube chat. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, we've got 570 people watching on YouTube. We got 200 on Twitch. Man, that's a lot of people.
That is.
Do us a favor. Just go down and hit that little thumbs up button. Just hit that thumbs up button. It'll make Triple H feel a lot better when he shows. He doesn't like showing up unless there's 200 likes.
Yeah, if there's 200 likes, he'll be a lot happier. I'm sure he'll not be in a great.
We need him to be as happy as possible today because I don't think he's going to be too happy about what happened yesterday.
Not yet. No.
I like this though on the YouTube though. Dan Brown Jr. says clearly MVP is negotiating Bobby's return, and in exchange, Hurt Business helps Pierce with the bloodline. I like that idea. I think that's really cool.
That would be great.
Yeah.
That would be great.
So, yeah, we mentioned the Montez bit. So, after that, we have an Austin Theory interview. And like you said, there's not a whole lot new going on here with Austin Theory. He just says, my confidence is at an all-time high. 2022 was my year, and 2023 is going to be my year. Last week when I dropped Seth Rollins, I said, let's talk about last week when I dropped Seth Rollins, and that just proves he's the past and I'm the now. But I hold this title. I hold all the cards. I'm outplaying Seth on every turn, and my forever reign is just beginning. Not too bad for a kid, huh, Seth? And then we get Elias, and he's in the ring. He's strumming his guitar. He says, we're in Nashville, Music City. I got a street fight tonight, and I plan on smashing Solo Sikoa's face. Find out what everyone knows, and that's WWE stands for Walk with Elias. And then he's about to do his song, and then he gets interrupted because that's his thing.
Yeah, that's his thing.
Yeah.
This is the second time I feel like that Elias has been slammed on a piano.
It is. Dude, these street fights are gnarly for him. He always gets killed. Did he had one with Jeff Hardy, I think?
Yeah.
I think it was Jeff Hardy, and that one was gnarly.
Did he have one with Nakamura? Yeah, one with Braun.
Oh, my God.
It was a Braun one.
Has he had 4 already? Did he do a Hardy one, or am I imagining that? Braun. Okay.
It was Braun. Braun slammed him on the piano, yeah.
Oh, man, yeah. I remember when Braun was up there with the stand-up
bass. Yeah, the stand-up bass, yeah. I mean, you get thrown into a drum set with all the metal hardware and stuff. That hurts.
That's pretty. You never know what you're going to get. But that piano, I mean, I know it kind of gave a little bit. But oh, my God. Yeah, the keyboard. Yeah, the keyboard's bad, but the piano. Oh, man.
Imagine especially if they had all those D batteries it probably needed in there for it to work.
I feel like they did take that out. Like the keyboard seemed a little gimmicked. It seemed kind of plasticky.
I mean, it's just a cheap keyboard. That's like a cheap keyboard. That's what it is.
For a second in my head, I thought you meant the D batteries for the piano.
No, for the keyboard.
I was like, they don't have D batteries in the piano.
No, but keyboards can.
Yeah, keyboards definitely do.
That's what I was talking about. The piano, yeah, looked like it was gimmicked a little bit so the legs would break and stuff.
Yeah, but still, man, that's just all wood and whatever.
Oh, I'm sure that hurt like hell.
Elias
That
and
hurt like
Braun
hell.
versus Nakamura and Cesaro.
They had a tag match. Okay, because Elias and Braun did have a one-on-one one.
That was the Symphony of Destruction.
Ah. Guess it's kind of the same idea.
What's the Jeff Hardy one I was thinking of? Like during Thunderdome when he got he did his thing on like steel steps or something. I thought
Was that the feud with Cesaro? Is that after he threw the viscous urine at him?
You mean Sheamus?
Sheamus, yeah. That's what I meant to say. Sheamus, yeah.
I don't know. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
Elias had a match with Jeff Hardy. Okay.
All right. So Solo gets the win here, hitting a Uranagi on the piano. But before that, there was Hardy.
Yeah, not Jeff
familiar.
or Matt Hardy.
Yeah, a musician named Hardy. Not familiar with his work.
So, I mean, I listened to when they had the little pre-ad for it because he's got the official song for Rumble.
Yeah, he's going to perform at the Rumble, I think they said.
And it's just like the closest thing that they have, I think, to like new metal these days.
But in country.
Oh, it's like country new metal?
I thought so.
Did it sound country-ish?
Kind of.
I just thought it sounded like really, really watered down new metal.
It does more than anything, but I thought it had like a little country.
No, you might be right about that.
Maybe I'm just thinking that because they were in Nashville.
So yeah, he got involved in this. Or
according to Wikipedia, he's an American country music singer.
Okay, no, you're right then. Is that how country music has pivoted in the past 10 years? I don't pay attention to country music.
I don't either. So that could be.
New country?
Could be. So Hardy gets in the ring. Sorry, before he gives Elias his guitar, Solo super kicks Elias. Then Hardy gets in the ring and breaks it over Solo's back, and Solo just completely no-sells it.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
And Hardy wisely gets out of the ring, and that all leads to Solo getting the win.
Is E-Dub just making stuff up? He says Braun slammed Nakamura on a piano.
That could be, too. I remember Nakamura be involved in one of those music-themed matches.
I just remember the Hardy one thinking, oh, my God, this match is horrifying.
Yeah, I remember Braun and Elias did the one, because that's where Braun had the bass.
Yeah, I remember that, too, yeah. All right. Mayor Planet Houston wants to know.
It's the last name.
That's his last name? What's his first name?
Yeah. I don't know. I closed that tab.
It's not Matt or Jeff. Anyways, after that we had
Michael.
Mike
Hardy.
Michael made a huge mistake. That's what he thought when he hit Solo.
Yeah, exactly.
I made a huge mistake.
He hits him. It's like, it's not a trick. It's an illusion.
Hardy's been banned from the Magicians Union. We had a 6-man tag match. The Usos and Sami Zayn versus the Street Profits and Kevin Owens. And so this match is all about, the whole story here is Montez didn't want to be there.
Yeah. There's a couple times where Kevin Owens is looking to tag in and Montez is just not focused on the match. He's thinking about what happened to Bianca earlier, which makes all the sense in the world. So he's just kind of staring off. At one point, Owens just gets up and slaps Montez on the chest to tag him in, and like his focus is renewed, and he goes on an extended run. However, he took the loss here. So he hits a dive over the top on Sammy and Jimmy, I believe, and puts Sammy back in the ring. Jimmy gets on the apron to distract him, and so he knocks him off the apron, turns around, Helluva kick from Sammy to get the Bloodline the win. But then afterwards, as the Bloodline starts beating up on Owens, Solo's getting the chair to do the chair around the head, hip attack in the corner. Sheamus and Drew McIntyre show up. They start brawling with the Usos, send them out of the ring. So it'd be pretty cool if we got, people on Raw they have beef with Bloodline show up on SmackDown.
That would be cool. Isn't Drew? Yeah, Drew is tech. Yeah, Drew. Yeah. You're right. That would be cool. It's so funny though. I'll mention this again just because it never fails to. I always notice it, just how huge Drew and Sheamus are.
Massive.
I'm like, these guys should really it could be the Bloodline, Owens, and the Street Profits versus just Sheamus and Drew, and I'd give Sheamus and Drew a good shot. They're so huge. They're massive.
They really are. They really are. I'll never forget seeing Drew McIntyre. Like, I went to, I don't know, probably go use the bathroom or something, the WCPW show, and he's in the hallway there at the venue talking to somebody.
Taking up most of the hallway, yeah.
And he is a mountain of a man. He is enormous.
And he's gotten even more jacked since then, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold on, my cat wants back in. Why don't you continue this?
Sure. So commentary talks AJ Styles' ankle injury, and then we get Dexter Lumis versus Chad Gable. Otis was pretty funny throughout this match, talking crap to Lumis. Ultimately, Lumis gets the win here. He keeps looking for the Uranagi to follow up with silence. Never exactly hits it. Gable rolls him up, and Lumis reverses that to a 3 count of his own. He wins. No John whatsoever.
John. Yeah, I wonder what Gargano's up to. Looking at all those cool Christmas presents. You got a bunch of cool Christmas presents.
Oh, yeah?
And he was tweeting out about like a bunch of comic books he was getting. Yeah, it was cool. Like Secret Wars, I think was one of them.
Oh,
they're all like
I used to have some of those.
There's all the siege, like the graded ones, you know.
Oh, are those Secret Wars ones worth any money?
If they're graded, maybe. I don't know.
What if I sat on one for a couple months?
If you sat on one, like your butt?
Yeah.
Or like, it'd probably be better off you get like, you know, a couple like slabs or something to flatten it out. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm just saying it. Like I had some issues of Secret Wars when I was a kid. I'm just saying, you know, they probably weren't very well taken care of.
Right. I'm saying your butt's going to make them even more wrinkly.
Yeah, exactly.
Is your butt
I'm not
like
saying
a
I'm sitting
flat-
on one now. I'm just saying, for example, when I was a kid, maybe it was under like stuff. And I sat on it.
I'm sorry. I thought you meant you're trying to restore them now by sitting on
No,
them.
obviously not. That'd make it worse. I get that.
Okay.
I don't think you could undo that level of damage, though.
Why did you sit on them when you were a kid?
No, I'll just use that as an example. I didn't. Maybe I did. I don't know. Maybe I made a chair for myself out of comic books.
Okay.
When I was 10 years old. I don't know. It was an example.
It's not the most sturdy chair in the world there, pal.
I mean, maybe I was an engineering genius as a kid, and I found a way to stack the comic books in like an interlocking fashion that would make it structurally pretty sound.
Oh, what could have been? Fudgy says a CGC rated 1 of Secret Wars is going for $260 on eBay right now.
Oh, wow.
Right on. I have the first appearance at Gambit, but it's not graded.
Yeah, I have a bunch of, like, I have the first Spawn, not graded.
Yeah, the first, if you had the first Walking Dead, that's worth a ton.
Oh, yeah.
That's worth a lot.
Yeah.
After that, we had that Cody video package we spoke of earlier. And obviously, it had a highlight of his return against Seth. I do love how much they played up the reveal when he takes off his coat. It's like the Jaws music. Da, 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 and there's like a Wilhelm scream, and he takes it all the way up. It's like,
a slab of meat right there.
So you hear him say, here's some of his voiceover here. 6 whole years, that's a heck of a journey. I never thought I was coming back. I get another shot at living the first dream I ever had. It shows pictures of him, Dusty, Dustin, and the Rhodes legacy, including Dusty's voice, baby. He says the American Nightmare is an extension of the American Dream, and how this is a perfect alignment of all the stars, and I'm going to do everything in wrestling for myself, the fans, and my father. Somebody else here in the YouTube chat, and I apologize, but I saw this earlier, I don't see it here now, said, what if Cody comes back, wins the Rumble, and targets the WWE title? Says, I don't want that one. I want that one.
He wants the lineage title, yeah.
That could be a dramatic moment as well. That could be kind of cool. And then maybe on like the Raw after Mania, he beats Roman for that instead of at Mania. I don't know.
I mean, I get him wanting the WWE title because that's his whole motivation. But at the same time, if you're going to have a match for one title, why not fight for both of them?
Yeah. Yeah. No,
maybe it's a situation where he wins them both and afterward and says, he's being super diplomatic about things. He says, this is the title WWE one I came here to get. Not that I don't care about the Universal title one, but this is the one I really came to fulfill the dream I had, to fulfill the dream my father had, and now I have it. Yeah. So, and I understand that we have two brands here. Each brand needs their own champion. So Adam Pearce come out here, take the Universal title. I'm keeping this one.
I like this better. Wait, hold on a second, because that's cool and everything. It's like heroic, but let's bring it down a little bit. Let's bring it back a little bit further down to earth. He's like, he wins both titles. He shows up on Raw. He's like, Adam Pearce, I've noticed something. In this contract of mine, the most complex contract. Yes. Turn please to page 342, paragraph 3, subparagraph A. Cody only works Mondays. He's like, I ain't coming to Fox.
Witness, if you will, that this here typed in bold letters.
Yeah.
All caps. Read, please. It says here, Cody Rhodes will only work Monday nights. It is official.
It is official, and Cody just throws the Universal title at him. He's like, here, takes this blue piece of shit. I don't want this WWE shop bullshit. Get out of here.
Now play my music.
And then he flies away.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Oh, man, that's good.
That'd be good. Then we had Damage Control promo. It was right before this. They walk backstage, and you see the Hurt Business talking back there. So they make their way to the ring. Bayley says, "Ding dong, Trashville. Happy New Year. Y'all should be proud to be from where Damage Control was born. You're welcome. Finally, something good came from this place. No better way to kick off 2023 than beside my best friends, Io and Dakota. Before we celebrate, though, I think we need to address the Irish elephant in the room. Yeah, I beat Becky Lynch. And I'm not saying it was easy, but it sure as hell was fun. The best part is I did it all by myself. I am so damn good, I beat everyone." Then Becky's music hits.
Yeah, so she comes out with a mic, and she says, "Shut up, you dope." She says, "You talk like you invented the..." I think when Bray called LA Knight, "You little idiot." He says, "You talk like you invented the wheel, but you've been on a hamster wheel ever since you came back. You're a coward and a fraud, unable to do anything by yourself. That's the thing about you. You feel most comfortable in somebody else's shadow. It took you years to get out of somebody's shadow, but you only took months to get back into somebody else's. I misspoke when I called them your lackeys, but they're the ones doing all the work. They're the ones with the gold," talking about, tag team champs. Says, "You're taking all the glory. Only a matter of time before somebody turns on somebody else." And Bayley's like, "Shut up. You're just upset because you lost." And Becky's like, "Nah, when I lose, I don't get mad. I get better. You bring up a good point. It started in Nashville at SummerSlam, so how about you and me end it right here in Nashville tonight?" Bayley laughs, says, "A big ding-dong, no, no, no." She says, "You seriously thought we were going to do this? I already beat you, but since you have an obsession with my girls, you go find a partner. I'll let you face them tonight." Becky says, "I got nobody to call, so 2-on-1, let's do this." And then we get what started out as a 2-on-1 handicap match, Becky Lynch versus Damage Control.
Yep. Then maybe a third of the way through, Mia Yim's music hits. She runs to the ring, gets in Becky's corner, tags in, goes on a run. She takes out Io with a suicide dive. Raw rolls on. We come back. Lynch sends Dakota into the barricade, sends Io into the barricade. She goes at the top rope, hits a drop kick on Dakota, gets a 2 count there. So then Becky brings her into her corner. So Mia and her can hit a double team suplex on Dakota. Mia covers. Io breaks that up. So Becky looks to take Io out with a manhandle slam. Io avoids that. Mia hits this awesome, like draping Hurricane Rana on Dakota.
Yeah,
that was amazing. And then she goes for the cover. Bayley puts Dakota's feet on the ropes. So then Becky takes out Bayley as Dakota gets hit with an eat defeat. And then Io hits a moonsault on Mia right after she hits eat defeat to get the win.
If I'm not mistaken as well, this was the first time that they didn't refer to Mia Yim as Mia Yim at all. She seems to be Michin, like totally now. I know she took the loss here, but I like that. I have no idea what's going to happen with the rest of the OC. They still referred to her as a member of the OC, and they talked about Gallows and Anderson in the thing earlier. But now that AJ, the centerpiece of the OC, is out for a little while, I'm glad that Mia Yim is still going to be in the mix a little bit, at least.
Yes.
If last night was to be believed.
Yeah, I would think so, and I hope so too, because she's great.
Yeah.
After that, we got a Seth Rollins interview. He says, "Nashville, who's ready to sing tonight?" He says, "2023 is already looking like 2022. Bloodline trying to take over my show. Austin Theory trying to take my spot. But as long as I'm breathing, bleeding, doing it all, Monday nights belong to me. In a few minutes, so will that U.S. title. Theory will do everything to hold on to it, and I dig that. But as good as he is, there's one thing he ain't, and that's me." He says, "I am a visionary, revolutionary Seth freaking Rollins. Party on Broadway tonight."
Yeah, man. After that, we had an Alexa Bliss interview. Byron wants to talk to her as she paces in the background. He mentions, you might have lost control out there, but she's like, "Lost control? No, I gained control over Bianca's headspace." She says, "The only threat is me, and the women's title actually belongs with me." And then they recap Dominic getting arrested on Christmas Eve at Grandpa Mysterio's house, and then we get the Dom promo. I've already recapped this, but it's absolutely amazing. He's got the toothpick. He's got like the tank top. It's good. Great. The teardrop tattoo is what made it for me, dude.
Oh, I know. It's so great.
Man, it's so good.
So good. Then we got our main event, U.S. title bout, Theory versus Seth. Between entrances, go to commercial break, and after commercial break, we get a Bronson Reed video package.
It was really well put together, Bronson Reed video package.
Hopefully they got some plans for Bronson because he's really good.
I hope so.
So as mentioned earlier, coming out of the first commercial break, Seth's really selling knee. Hits a springboard knee. Theory responds with a rolling drop kick. And the match carries on, and Seth is selling knee, but again, it's not like a situation where Theory is necessarily working it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Yeah.
So down towards the finish, Theory's in the corner, up on the top rope, knocks Seth off. Seth jumps up, hits the superplex, looking for the Falcon Arrow. Theory counters that into a neck breaker. He calls for an A-Town down. Seth evades that. They hit some strikes. Seth finally knocks down Theory with an enziguri. Rollins again selling knee. They trade some shots. Theory's looking for a pedigree. Seth escapes that, hits a couple elbows, one to Theory's jaw, the other to the back of his head. Looks for a stomp. Knee gives out. Mm-hmm. So Theory gets out of the ring and grabs his belt and says, "Nope, not doing this."
Nope, tired of this shit.
Seth gets him back in there, hits a super kick, frog splash, gets a 2 with that. Seth sets up for another stomp. Theory evades and pushes Seth into the ref. We get a ref bump.
Mm-hmm.
Out of that, Seth hits a pedigree. A new ref runs down. Seth crawls over, turns over Theory, covers. Theory kicks out. So Seth is setting up for a stomp. For some reason, the second ref is over there checking on ref number 1. And this match ain't over yet.
Yeah.
Theory evades that stomp, pushes Seth towards the second ref.
Mm-hmm.
Seth puts on the brakes, but when he does that, low blow, chop block, A-Town down.
A-Town down.
Theory gets the win.
There you go. Good stuff. I neglected to, and I don't remember. I remember starting to write it, but then I guess I didn't complete it. The questions thread on Patreon. So we've got some questions here on the Twitch and on the YouTube. First up,
there we go.
Alex Mumbley here on the YouTube. By the way, we're at 185 likes. I know we can do better now. We've got 579 people. Let's get that up to 200. Alex Mumbley says, who should be Cody's first opponent when he becomes WWE champion?
You know, it really is a bummer that we don't know when Orton's going to be back.
Or if.
Yeah.
Yeah. His first opponent. You know what?
I think given their history, that'd be something else, man.
Carmelo Hayes. Call him up, put him in a big-time situation to start him off, and then you can drop him back down to the upper mid-card.
No, I got a better... I love
Von Wagner.
Carmelo's
Von
great.
Wagner.
It's Von Wagner.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. It's Von Wagner, another second-generation superstar.
Hey, Cody Blow. Yeah, you suck. It's Von Wagner's era. Put that WWE champion in dumpster where it belongs with me. What? Me and my new partner, Christmas Mousepad, we're going to take over this place. Come on, Christmas. I got a different question for you. Steve has a question.
Yes, Steve.
Let's say Cody wins both titles.
Uh-huh.
And we do the thing where he says Cody doesn't work Fridays. Hands it over. Who becomes a new Universal Champion?
Either Drew or Gunther.
Both great answers. I think it should be Drew. Drew would be great. He needs that.
Ideally, he'd win it at WrestleMania to get that moment that he didn't get a couple years ago.
Golly,
when it was Performance Center Mania,
literal worst. Just the worst. Nobody in there. Well, that sucked.
Organ Grinder here on Twitch asked, do you think AEW and other wrestling promotions should do away with post-show press conferences? I think they're pointless and actually hurt the illusion of the show. Do you think they should consider adopting kayfabe press conferences instead like in New Japan? Well, WWE's press conferences after their major shows are kind of mostly in kayfabe, except when Triple H is up there.
There's a sense of urgency to the New Japan ones that it's so great.
Oh, it's fantastic.
They just walk basically straight from the match to the backdrop, and then they get to do their thing there. That's my preferred way of doing it. That is awesome. That is really good stuff. I think everybody should do that. I think I don't know. I don't know if it's an ego thing for Tony Khan, or if it's I don't know. He only does.
I mean, I think it's a great idea when they started doing it. I thought it was pretty cool because it's not something we normally get. That it's talent and Tony answering questions, not sometimes, but usually not through the prism of kayfabe. And I was like, oh, this is refreshing. This is a bit of transparency we haven't seen in the wrestling world. And I still do, save for Punk going off, appreciate the idea.
I forget which pay-per-view it was, but when Tony went for like 3 hours on
it's a bit much.
That was at that point I was like, why is he doing this? Like, it doesn't seem at that point it didn't seem like, oh, he's being transparent, because I agree with you. That's how I felt too. But then I was like, he's still going.
It just felt self-indulgent at that point. Yeah,
it did. Plains Drifter, who became now a member for 9 months, re-upped his membership over on YouTube. Says, how would you repackage Riddle when he comes back? Because he needs one. Maddie Graham also was the one who asked who had the Cody thing earlier. So thank you, Maddie.
Gotcha. I mean, the kind of the stoner thing is just kind of, I don't know. There's no dimension to it. He's just goofy. Yeah. At least when Randy was there, he was getting a level of viciousness that wasn't there before because he was teaming with Randy. But they just, after Randy, had to take his leave because of injury, they didn't follow up with that. It was just, his story was Riddle essentially looking for a new friend. Mm-hmm. And so they really leaned into the goofier aspects of his character.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel like what they did with him in NXT was probably the way to go, because back then that's when they were doing everybody's a badass. But Riddle had such personality that it's like, okay, he's a badass, but clearly he's like also a stoner. He's got other interests. And that sort of worked, as opposed to just dude who looked like a badass coming in to be a badass.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Just like you said, lose the goofy stuff.
Mm-hmm. Or at least, have a balance between the goofy and the serious. Mm-hmm. Justifiable Treason here on YouTube asks about Cody winning the belts because he's been gone so long and the IWC is calling it. Is there a risk of him getting a lukewarm reception like before he left AEW? You know how wrestling fans could be.
No.
I'd be pretty surprised if he came back in a huge spot and the crowd kind of sat on their hands.
The WWE universe loves him. And it is the WWE crowd's different than AEW. It's a different type of crowd.
Yeah,
I don't think they look too deep into things sometimes.
No.
Oregon Grinder. I'm sorry. No. Let's see here. Nick Kyle says, what GTA would Prison Dom Mysterio be the perfect protagonist in? I feel like the Miami one.
Oh, Vice City?
Vice City.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should be Vice City. Mayor Plan Houston, which wrestlers do you predict will have a big 2023? Cody. Maggie says, why Steve Stradamus? Will Hurt Business get a female to join their faction like Mia with OC and Rhea with Judgment Day? And for my tribal snake chief, you can only pick 2 genres for entrance music for talent.
All right.
What genres would you pick? So I'll go up first because she mentions me first. Hurt Business should get a woman, and it should be Michin. She's like, this guy is injured. I'm up for grabs because guess what? I'm a mercenary. You got money, I'm do business with you.
And we got to have a bit where her and Shelton patch things up because they got this ongoing beef on social media.
I didn't even think about that. That's amazing.
Yep.
Yes, that's great.
These are the first 2 genres. Well, one genre for sure, nu metal. Nu metal has to be a constant in pro wrestling themes.
It's the only place nu metal works.
Really, nu metal and dubstep. Like they'll hang on to relevancy via wrestling themes.
Didn't Buddy Murphy have a dubstep theme?
So did Alexa, yeah.
Alexa, yeah. Hey, Alexa, you like dubstep? Hey, look, it's my theme. You want it for yours too?
2 genres I'm really not huge on, but I think for pro wrestling, they're kind of perfect in a lot of ways.
They work really, really well.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Scooter says, considering that Dom is kayfabe out of jail, do you think he would have an attitude change full time, or would it count as a one-off? I don't know what that means, Scooter. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that means either.
Maybe you can elaborate. White Brownie says, with Becky seemingly teasing Damage Control possibly breaking up, and with the Rumble coming up, you think we'll see the cracks of the Rumble? Oh, almost assuredly in the Women's Rumble,
some
right?
member of Damage Control is going to eliminate another member of Damage Control.
Could be. Diehard Homer says, unrelated to Raw, but can we talk about Ospreay's fire promo on Omega? I turned it off a minute into it because I was like, oh, man, he's just talking about how gnarly COVID was. He's like, and then I got stuck in a room for 13 days and no bigger than a broom closet. I was like, you're just keeping it too real, man. It was good stuff, though. It was really good stuff. It was awesome. Looking forward to that match.
Yeah, it should be great. Ryan K. Lamb with Machine Gun, Carl Anderson, and Bayley in Japan. Could we see a trade of talent for one show and get Kyrie and the legendary Great O'Khan in the Rumble?
Oh, the Great O'Khan at the Rumble? That'd be outstanding. I think that'd be outstanding.
I think that'd be great. Nast Plays asks, who do you think wins the Women's Rumble this year? Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, I agree with that. Oh, man, Maggie has it here for Hurt Business. Jade Cargill.
Yeah.
Get it done, Triple H. Just get the scoop there. Get the scoop.
Maggie also says over-under on Rhea being in the Men's Rumble. What if she wins the Women's Rumble and is in the Men's Rumble too?
Wow. Oh, man. That'd be sick. That'd be awesome. That'd be great. All right, man. So he's waiting. We've got our 206 likes. We've done what we can. We've done what we can to,
all right, well, wish me luck, man.
To smooth this out. Well, yeah, absolutely. Good luck. I got a bunch of paperwork here to do. So here he comes.
All right. Hi, Triple H.
Nope. Don't interrupt even when I'm breathing hard. I am horrified. I'm livid. The game is not happy at all because I was waiting in the Zoom call yesterday for 3 hours. Nobody told me. Nobody told me that I was getting bumped. You guys just left me hanging by a thread. I was supposed to be getting some much needed sleep. That was my scheduled nap time. But I was waiting for you because we've had some good rapport, Steve, you, and making sure I appreciate that Fat John Cena is nowhere to be found. And then you guys ruined it. So now I'm back to hating you with a sincerity not seen since my Reign of Terror days. I am not even close to being done. All right. Do not interrupt. And I do not like that smile, that dumb smirk on your leathery face. I don't like it. Do not laugh either. Don't interrupt me with a laugh or a statement or a question or anything else. I'm livid.
Apologies.
With the two of you, don't interrupt for bumping me off your show. This isn't funny. You think it's a joke? You think I'm a clown? You think this is a joke? You think I'm doink? Is that what you think? You think I'm doink, don't you? You think I'm doink, doing a little dance, and then I show up in a creepier version on ECW. Listen, I'm not happy. Done with my rant.
Apologies, Triple H. We had some internet issues.
What kind?
If we could have.
Hold on a second. I'm going to interrupt you now. What kind of pissant podcast is this supposed to be when you guys don't even have an Ethernet cable to plug? Even I've got an Ethernet cable. I don't know anything about technology. Look at this. I've got my condescension water bottle right here next to my 1986 speakerphone. I don't know anything about, look at my cool little leather attaché case. I don't know anything about technology. Even I know you're supposed to be hooking in when you're doing all the streaming.
Apologies. That's all I can do is apologize. It was an unforeseen event, and we've taken measures to prevent it in the future.
From what I understand, the unforeseen event was Fat John Cena wanting to change things up for no reason. Everything was fine. He just wanted to move his table to a different place in his room. I did a little bit of don't interrupt. I did a little bit of research. I know Fat John Cena. He gets what's his name? Hamburger Cena. He gets restless and he wants to move his table places.
Yeah, that happens sometimes.
I'm not happy, and I'm not going to be happy.
What can I do to make it up to you, Triple H?
All right, we're going to circle back around to how many Beyblades is it worth it to you to keep me happy?
What did we agree on last time? 30 or 20?
It was like 30, 40, 50, something like that. How about 50
All right.
Beyblades?
50?
Yeah.
What's
50.
the retail? $20?
Yeah, I don't know, something like that.
Okay, we can make that work.
All right, fine. Maybe I'll come back tomorrow to review that crap-ass AEW show. It's a new look AEW. They got a bunch of lasers. Who gives a fuck?
Wow.
How did that go? Is he okay?
I mean, it wasn't as bad as I thought it could be. He wasn't happy. He wasn't happy. So I asked, I apologize, obviously, because that's the only thing to do. Instead, it was an unforeseen
How many
circumstance.
Beyblade? Get to it. How many Beyblades are we on the hook for?
How do you know it's Beyblades?
Because that's all he does. He just hawks his Beyblades. Of course he's going to want
Beyblades in weeks.
Man, come on. I know because he already got us to pony up for a bunch. But I know he's going to ask for more.
50.
That's a lot of Beyblades. It's like $1,000.
I know.
What do they retail? 20 a piece?
I don't know exactly. That was my guess.
Yeah, it's a good guess.
But if it just takes 50,
Let me
it was
ask
30,
something.
and then it's up to 50. What?
Did you throw me under the bus?
I didn't say anything.
You didn't say anything?
This is what I did. At first I tried to apologize right away. Guess what I got?
Don't interrupt.
Yeah, because he was like mid sigh, and I was like, I apologize.
Oh, don't! Oh my God, he's sighing and you interrupted him.
So I just let him talk. Yeah. And at the end, I just said our apologies.
Yeah.
Something happened with the internet. We had internet issues. Unforeseen apologies. Okay. And then he went on another rant specifically about you.
What? Hold on a second. Did he say that I was changing around my office just for the sake of changing around my office?
Virtually, yes.
Wow. I guess he knows me too well.
At this point, it's just you got to let him rant. You got to let him. It's catharsis, He's got to get out of him.
He's got to get out of him.
And all I could do is apologize and ask what we need to do to make things right. And he said 50 Beyblades, and I said, all right, that's fine. It's only 20 more than we originally agreed to.
We'll take it out of Enforcer's pay.
It doesn't really seem fair to Enforcer.
He doesn't know. He's not even here.
Well, he listens to the show. He'll probably hear this, then he will know.
Nah. I think he's been more like a cultaholic guy lately, to be honest with you. There's a new rumor he's going to go over to JD from NY.
Oh, I don't believe that rumor for a second.
We got the Enforcer here. He's garbage. Wow, JD. Anyway, that's going to do it for us today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow night with our AEW Dynamite. It's a new AEW.
Did you say tonight? Today's Tuesday.
I'm sorry, I meant tomorrow night. Tomorrow night for the new AEW. Now it's got lasers. Ooh, it's got lasers. Who gives a fuck, Oh,
lasers are cool.
Nah, it should be fun. Anyways, thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
That's going to do it for us today. Thanks.